Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tax Show for People Who Owe. I'm Dave.
And I'm Phil.
And today we're going back to the topic of installment agreements and talking about those folks who cannot afford to make the minimum payment required of them with an installment agreement. So Phil is going to talk about the hardships, right Phil?
Right.
That may be available to you if you cannot afford that minimum payment. So Phil, what options do I have if I can't make that minimum payment?
Well, David, as with all things, it depends, right?
It depends. Okay, that doesn't really help me.
Today, we're going to focus in on one of the key things that we talked about, which is, in this part, the financials. So your financials, how much you make and how much you spend, is going to dictate which hardship option you're going to fit into.
That sounds extremely complicated. Can't I just call up the IRS and tell them I can't afford this payment?
You can call the IRS and say those things, but that's not going to be enough to get you in a hardship status.
What are they going to ask of me?
They're going to ask you how much you make.
Okay.
They're going to ask you how much do you spend.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm broke at the end of the month. I spend a lot.
Well, a follow-up question there would be, what do you spend it on, David? Because that's almost just as important as how much you spend.
Okay, so how do I prove it to the IRS that I don't have the ability to make this payment?
With all things, you can do it yourself. So you can call in, or you can mail in a form 433F.
433F. That sounds like another technical tax term. Can we simplify that a bit, Phil?
Yeah, it's basically your financial statement on paper. So it's how much you make and how much do you spend.
Okay, so what does it look like if I'm requesting for a break on what I'm paying with the IRS? What's it gonna look like?
So if you call in, they're gonna go through that form verbally with you. So if you're not prepared, you can have that conversation go on maybe an hour and a half.
Wow.
But when tax professionals do it, they know what to expect. So they already have the answers to all their questions.
So Phil, can I fill this out myself and maybe embellish the numbers a bit to make it look like I'm not making a lot?
I wouldn't go that far. As you know, David, it's a federal crime to lie to a federal agency.
Ooh, yeah. I want to be pretty accurate with this one, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the next steps? If I do prove hardship, what are they going to ask of me to provide them?
It depends on what kind of expenses you list on there, whether it's by written correspondence or over the phone. They may ask you for your mortgage statement, your rental agreement, proof of your car payment, proof of child support.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff. So what are some of the options for somebody who has difficulty filling out this form or maybe have challenges getting all this information?
As with all things in life, you can always hire professional help, but the IRS agent may also walk you through it. So it really depends, David.
So we've had situations where the IRS agents will actually be very helpful and spend a lot of time with taxpayers to help them qualify, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. So now, what are we looking at? What type of breaks can I get? Can I pay zero? Is that possible?
Absolutely, David. As long as you're financially supported, and what that means is your income is less than your allowed expenses, then you could be paying $0 a month, and we often call that the currently not collectible status.
Great. That sounds fantastic. Now, on the flip side, if I disclose my income and my financials to the IRS thinking I have a hardship, and they say you have excess income more than the minimum payment, will I pay more?
Definitely. They're in their full right to demand the full disposable income from you, even if it's in excess of the minimum payment.
So with that, what do we suggest if taxpayers who owe are trying to figure out where they would land on a type of monthly installment agreement?
I think being informed about what your options are before making that call is very critical to getting you the best possible resolution.
And when you have someone who comes to you with an installment agreement request, what's your typical approach? What do you do?
I kind of look at the full picture, just like we talked through, making sure that no stone is left unturned so that we can explore all options. So even if you might qualify for a partial payment installment agreement, which is less than the minimum, or a CNC, I want to make sure I discuss every single option before we make that call.
Great. So our advice is to be informed before you approach the IRS and ask for a hardship or a break on an installment agreement. You can get all the information you need by downloading our app and requesting professional help, so when you do call the IRS, you know what to expect. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. We'll see you again next time. Hey everyone, thank you for watching today. Please be sure to like
and subscribe
so you're up to date with all the information you need when you're taking on the IRS.
And as always, do something.